Don't count Papa D and Pastor Me. Have 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus Carol 6 plus Maro 7. Okay, so 7 of you. Just imagine that each of you touches the life of people. How many people would that be? 700 people, right?
Yeah.
And if you touch 700 people, and those 700 people, each one of them touches 100 people. My God. Are you not seeing that we are invading the world with something powerful?
We are.
Okay. Yeah, so if you have no question, let me go to the next thing. Should I move or you have something to say? Question or no question? No question. 1, no question. 2, 3,
Mommy.
4. We move. Eh?
I didn't get the last M, please.
Multiplication.
Okay, thank you.
The last M is multiplying. You know, the last level of influence is multiplying. You heard the explanation or you didn't hear the explanation?
Network kicked me.
Okay, I saw when you kick out. So that's the highest level of influence. You are multiplying now. You are teaching others what you have been taught and teaching them how to go and teach others. Does that make sense, Annie?
Yes, Mommy, thank you.
All right. So I want to move to the 4 areas of emotional healing. Remember, I am coming from influence. And I said influence can be positive and it can be negative. As counselors, why am I teaching you these levels of emotional healing? Why am I teaching you this? Because as counselors, you will influence people with who you are. Who you are before what you are teaching them. Who you are will influence people. And so as an individual, I need us to follow this. As a counselor, you must heal emotionally. You yourself, you, the counselor, you must heal before you can start helping others to heal. Because the truth about life is that hurting people hurt others. Even though people will come to you for help, but because you are hurting, I'm telling you, there will be a transference of bitterness, of hurt into their lives. It's a terrible thing to have a bitter leader. I'm telling you, because whether you like it or not, they influence you in one way or the other. So as a counselor, you must make sure you heal before you deal. Like I was telling Annie, now it is not only for the counselee to be healed before they get into another relationship. It is for you, the counselor, to be healed before you start helping people who come to you. Because if you are not healed, your pain is going to influence the negative. Just imagine that you are in front of a counselor who has just been hurt by their spouse. At that moment, it is their pain that will be speaking through them. They will not be speaking themselves. They will not be. They will not be speaking. Giving you an honest. What do I call it? They will simply be speaking from the place of their own pain.
They will not be objective.
Thank you. Thank you, God, for helping me with that. They will not be objective. They will be speaking from their pain. So you must heal as a counselor. And that's what makes this message or this lesson of today very, very important to us. You are going to influence people. You must influence them positively. And one of the positive ways of influencing them is for you to heal yourself. That is why the 4 areas of emotional healing are important to every counselor. Heal. Every leader, heal. Heal. Because if you don't heal, you are going to wound others with your pain. Okay? So the truth about life is that the more stable you are emotionally, the more productive you are as a counselor. And the more vibrant you are, even in your own personal relationships, the more stable you are emotionally, the more productive that you will be. Even in your career, even as a counselor, and in your own relationship, you become more vibrant, more lively. Your relationship will become more lively. Because emotionally you are stable. Have you ever met emotionally unstable people? Gosh. There is something they call mood swings. They are okay in now with you. The next minute, something else is showing up. Mood swings. Because emotionally they are not stable. So the first arrow for emotional healing, first arrow is recognition. Recognition. And this is when you actually realize that there's a problem. Do you know that many people have problems but they don't realize they have problems? They don't even know that they have problems. Recognition is that point where you realize that there's a problem. Whatever is not recognized cannot be redeemed. It's like you go to the hospital, they don't diagnose your illness. They cannot treat you. We call malaria common. It is common malaria, but common malaria can kill you if it is not diagnosed and you don't take the treatment. For instance. So when the problem is not recognized, you cannot deal with it, you cannot treat it, you cannot retain it. So awareness of the problem is the very first step to your healing or to your recovery. For you to heal, you must be aware of what is going on. David said something in the Bible. He said, "Why are you so downcast, oh my soul? Why are you down? You are sad." He recognized it. He didn't try to escape from it. So recognition is the realization that there is something wrong. Something is wrong. Why are you so downcast, oh my soul? Something is wrong. And you realize that there is something wrong. And a problem recognized is a problem that you are committed to solve. And you can apply this to any situation that you want to change. Any situation that you need to change, you can apply this to it. Recognize it. Acknowledge it. Is it there? There is something happening with my body. It could be in the area of your health. It could be in any part of your life. but recognition is important. Recognition is important. Now, the second R is to reach out, reach out, reach out. Once you recognize that there's a problem, the next thing you need to do is reach out. Now, reaching out may be the beginning of intervention. That's the beginning of your intervention process. That is you discerning that you need help. I've seen there's this problem. Yes, it's a problem, but I think I need help here. You may discover, hey, maybe there's something wrong, something not really going right. Maybe with your kids, with your child, your spouse, your marriage. Yeah, there's something not going right. Reaching out means I need help. That's what you're saying. I need help. Reach out. Reach out. Talk to someone who can help. I need help. You must talk to someone who can help so that you don't suffer alone. Reaching out is that point in the prodigal son's life where he sat back like this and said, I'm not proud of this condition. I'm not proud. Not proud of my history. You look at yourself and say, no, I'm not comfortable with the chaos of my present life. I'm not comfortable where I am. That's what reaching out means. So I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to do something because where I am is not the best place. When the prodigal son discovered himself, he had to check out from that place and say, you know what? At least my father is still alive. Let me go back. Reach out, do something. It can be mental, it can be psychological, it can be spiritually. You want to pray, you want to meet somebody that can pray. You just need help. You need help. First thing is you must reach out. And sometimes you can be depressed due to your environment. So changing your location can be your reaching out. Change that location. Some people are in the midst of some terrible wolves and you just sit there. Sometimes just pull your head out of that place. That's reaching out. You're doing something about your healing. Reach out. The third arrow is responsibility. 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 Because for you to see results, you must take responsibility of your healing. You must take responsibility. Any process that anybody will tell you that excludes you from taking responsibility or you from being involved is a fraud. Just like businesses, somebody will tell you, oh, come and give me so and so, I will do it for you. You will go and sleep and come and take money. It's a fraud. It is a process, and you must be involved in that healing process. It's a process which you must be involved. In any journey of growth, it is your responsibility to establish your boundaries. It is your responsibility to change the location that fits or that is nourishing that dysfunction or that dysfunctionality, something that is happening. It's your responsibility. You cannot sit in the mess and just sit. You must take responsibility. And when we talk of taking responsibility, is after you reach out, you may meet a therapist, you may meet a counselor, you may meet a coach, or you meet a pastor, and they tell you, this is what you need to do. You have to take responsibility to apply what they are telling you to do. You must take responsibility, because if you don't do it, then don't expect the desired result. It is your responsibility to pay attention to the triggers, the things that trigger that state. Maybe it could be depression. It could be just some sort of frustration. What triggers it? So you must understand what your triggers are. I was telling one of my it's a cousin of mine that came around, and I think she had some health thing, and I was talking with her. So I was telling her that many of the illnesses we have, some of the times it is allergy to something. You're reacting to something which you don't know. So begin to pay attention whenever this thing occurs. Okay, yes, it's one of the girls. She has some acne on her face, and it used to come, and it will be so much all over her face. So I was telling her that, okay, just be very, very observant. There are things that when you eat, they will come up more. Take note of those things. That's what we call a trigger. You must study your triggers and know what triggers that problem, so that you'll be struggling to treat yourself left and right, take this and take that. While you are trying to treat, at the same time, you are doing the same thing that is causing the problem. You need to understand the triggers. What is causing it? Find out what is causing it. Understand the trigger. You must know what your triggers are. And the trauma you may be going through, it may not be your fault. The pain, the situation you are going through may not be your fault. But your healing is your responsibility. The problem may not be your fault. The trauma may not be your fault. But the healing is your responsibility. You have to take responsibility for your healing. It is your responsibility to heal. It is your responsibility to find joy and to live a normal life. It's your responsibility. It is your responsibility to do everything legally, morally, ethically possible to heal, to find joy, to live a normal, stable life. Is your responsibility. You have to find it. You have to make it work. You have to do what it takes. So after you've recognized, you've reached out, recognize, reach out, don't stop there. You can't transfer the responsibility to any person. You can't transfer that to any other person. The burden, the accountability, the resources of the work to heal, you have to be disciplined. You have to do something. You cannot mortgage your healing. You can't mortgage it. You can't send somebody go and heal on your behalf. Nobody can do that on your behalf. You have to heal for yourself. By yourself. You have to heal. And this takes us to the fourth and the last R, which is release. The last arrow is release. So you have to prioritize your own healing by forgiving yourself. Prioritize your healing by forgiving yourself for the things that you are not proud of. There's some people that will keep feeling bad. They will not even forgive themselves. So not even talk about the other person here. Oh, I did this. And when you think about it, you just hate yourself. Forgive yourself. Prioritize your healing. And you start by forgiving yourself of the things that you are not proud of. You start from there. Forgive yourself. And then release those who wronged you. The other people who wronged you. Whoever wronged you. At this point, it's no longer about who is right or wrong. It's not important. Who is right is not important. Who is wrong is not important. It's no longer about being right. It's all about being healed. It's about being healed. You've got to be healed. Your healing is the most important thing at this point. And until you release, you can't move on. Until you release, you cannot move on. Failure should be our teacher, not our, not an undertaker. Failure should build you and not bury you. Because you failed in one relationship, everything will go wrong now. It is finished. When you are not even on the cross like Jesus. Failure should build you and not bury you. Am I talking to somebody?
Yes, mommy.
And that's why your present self, now like this, needs to go and have a conversation, a proper conversation with your old self, with your past. So that you can welcome and give your future self the permission to exist. There is a bright future for you. You need a conversation. You need a conversation that would allow your future self, give your future self the permission to breathe, to come out, to thrive, to excel. You have a bright future. You do deserve forgiveness. Your present self needs to have a conversation of forgiveness, of release, of redemption, and restoration with your past self. At this point, I want to yield my mic. If you have any question, let me just name again. The first area is recognition. Recognition is awareness of the problem. The second area is to reach out. Reaching out is intervention. The third is responsibility. Responsibility means do the work. Do the work. The third R is release. Release, release. Forgive, let go. Release, forgive, let go. Or any effort tonight.
Thank you, mommy. It's like we shouldn't end.
Oh, let me hear from you. If you don't
Yes,
have a
Mom.
question, if you have a take home, yes, good.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm
Looking
all
at
here. Mhm.
As I'm looking at the recognition, the reach out, the responsibility, the release, all I'm seeing here is that this should be a continuous process. At any time that we realize that something is disturbing us, I used to from time to time when I realized that there is something that is hanging around in my mind. I don't know what it is. I will just feel a type. I'm not feeling myself whole, and I have to stop and trace back to when did this start? When did I start feeling like this? What triggered this feeling? I have to go back there. Sometimes I just have to go back to the person and we talk out the issue. Sometimes I have to go and say that I'm sorry. Sometimes, but I realize that at times, I just realize that I've gone off. I'm no longer feeling myself. I will start tracing that what happened. What is that button that pressed this before? How did the thing start? I'll trace until I see what had caused it. So I'm seeing that this recognition, reaching out, responsibility can even turn to a day-to-day routine, or at any point, at any time that we realize that something that we are not whole, that we are feeling hurt, that we are not stable, we have to do this exercise.
That's very powerful. That's powerful, Glory. And what you said is so true. You know, when somebody asked Jesus that how many times should you forgive somebody? He said 70 times, 7 times. It is to tell you that what? The things that will need your forgiveness are many. It will keep coming up. So you will not say that I forgave yesterday, I'm not going to forgive today. No, the things will keep showing up. And so you will have to keep doing it 70 times, 7 times. Is countless, in other words. Who will sit and be counting 1, 2, or are forgiving 100 times? You know? So, in other words, like you have said, it's a process. You can keep repeating it. Scan your life through it always. Is there a problem? Recognize it. Be aware of it. And then you reach out for help. Some people suffer in silence. They don't reach out like that. They suffer. They will be toiling. They will be coughing. They don't want to tell anybody. They don't even. Some is that they don't know who to go tell. That's why we need to multiply. We need multiplication. Because somebody that may not reach you, they'll be able to reach somebody that you have reached. Are you understanding? People that will not be able to encounter me, they will encounter any of you and they'll get solution. Everybody that needs solution cannot encounter me. For instance, that's what I'm trying to say. So you must multiply so that the people that cannot reach you, they will reach some people that you have impacted. You see that the word of God is too powerful. There's nothing in the Bible that is just there for decoration. Everything you see there is very, very intentional. Go ye into the world and make disciples of all nations. You have to create people like you, people who are doing the things that you are doing. So that's why we are not just teaching you to be counselors, but you will also be able to grow to the level of teaching other counselors, other people how to become counselors. That's when you claim that yes, you are growing and your process, your procedure is correct, is aligning.
Mommy, I
Thank
have
you,
a
God, for
question.
sharing that. Yes.
In a situation where you want to release, might be you've realized that you hurt somebody and you want to reconcile with the person, and you go to the person time and again, and the person is like, over my dead body. I can never let go. So how can you
Handle that.
handle that?
Yeah, so the Bible says that so far as you are concerned, be at peace with every man. Now, once you put in your own effort, anything that is within your own control, you do. What is not to be controlled by you, don't bother yourself with it. If you do what is right, heal within you. Are you understanding? Your healing should not depend on another person. Your healing should not be external. It should not depend on what somebody else does. Once you realize that, oh, this thing, I was wrong, then you go and beg for forgiveness. If they don't accept it, that is their problem. You go to your God. Father, you have seen my heart. I've gone to them. I don't know what else to do. I have done my own. Pick your joy and go. Don't keep your mind there. Don't attach your mind to it. Don't allow it limit you in any way. Don't be sad because of it. Once you are able to move it genuinely from your heart and tell them that you are sorry, receive your freedom and be excited, be joyful.
Okay, thank you, Mom.
Please, Mom.
Yes.
As you're talking, I'm beginning to see that if once there is an issue, we must go through the 4 processes. If you recognize and take responsibility without help, you will not end up getting healed. For example, you needed help and then you just claim that, no, I'm the one that caused this thing. Meanwhile, you yourself, you need help. The reaching out, you skip reaching out and go to the responsibility, or you do the recognition, the reaching out, take responsibility and do not release it complete. Or you start taking responsibility without really getting what is the real issue. You will end up in more issues because you did not recognize what actually is the cause. So the 4, it is a whole process. So if we skip any of them, the process is not going to go through. We will not get the complete healing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And that's so powerful because it's a whole process. You cannot skip any step. In fact, you shouldn't skip a step. Because when you recognize, you need help. And there sometimes you just need some superior help. That means somebody that knows what you do, that can guide you, somebody that has gone ahead of you, somebody that is maybe older than you, somebody that you respect, somebody that you honor, somebody that you can trust. So because at this point where you guys are as counselors now, at least you can know the difference between a joker and serious people. You should be able to know that difference. So you know who to seek intervention from. Know who to seek intervention from, and you do the work. Now, from what Dory was saying, some people you think you can cover, there are things you cannot cover. I'm telling you, if it's hiding in there, Do you, when you have a problem, there's some people when you don't forgive them, immediately you meet them like this. Have you imagined how you feel? You meet them like this, you feel like, if it's
Your
on the
heart will
street,
jump.
thank you. Those are how the signs that you need to forgive these people. Honestly, it's a sign that you need to forgive, because sometimes they have really wronged you in a way, you know. But remember, I told you, when you are looking for healing, it's not about who is wrong or who is right. Because some people have really hurt people in a way that if you look at it just like that, you will not want to let go. But then you are not letting go, it's not affecting them. It's affecting by you. So you are letting them go for your healing. Once you understand that that is for your healing, you discover that you are joyful even when people do any sort of things to you. You are still happy because you understand that the healing is for you. It's not for them. Unforgiveness is the worst place to be. Unforgiveness is the worst state to be in, because it's like you are drinking poison and expecting your neighbor to die. That's what unforgiveness is. So letting go is an important state or step in this process. Yes.
Mommy, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, we have these 4 steps of emotional healing, but the second one, which says we have to reach out. Let me say you find yourself in a situation where there is an act that has been committed, and maybe that is known only maybe to the two of you, like say in a couple or in a relationship, and you try to deal with it. That is, you are thinking that maybe if you want to reach out, irrespective of, say, the person may be discreet, the person you are thinking that, okay, yes, this person can handle the situation, but you feel like this thing is an abominable act, it's shameful, you want to keep it. Can you keep it and you go through the other 3 steps and be okay without reaching out?
You yourself, you'll be able to tell whether, if you have reached this, if you skip it and do these other things, how do you feel? It does not affect you again. You don't sit and think about it. It doesn't come to your mind. Because there is a therapy that can make you, that can help you out of the whole thing. There's a course I was doing all of last week. All of last week. I was not even sure that I was going to teach today. They call it NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. How to deal with self-limiting beliefs. All things that were in your mind. How to remove yourself from them and replace it with a new thing. Now, if it is there and you are covering, because one of the ways that the enemy uses to keep people in captivity is secrecy. They will say they'll keep it as a secret. That means you don't have even one clergy, somebody, a man or woman of God, or a therapist who is not even in your country. Let's just say somebody that, because you have them now even online, who don't know you as in that much to know your family and know people who are close to you. That you can open up to. Because the tendency is that you don't want somebody that's close to your family that will see you and saying that, see these ones, so this is what they are, this or they are that or whatever. So you can have a therapist or a man of God who is not close to your family, far off, whom you can open up to, because there are some wounds that will never get dry when they remain closed. There are wounds you must open to let them get dry.
Mhm.
So those are some of the kind of, you must be able to, you cannot lack who you can open up to, who can talk to you and help you get out of, those are some of the things we're learning in that course. Powerful truths on how you can, get out of some things that you thought that, this was abomination, or this is bad, or this is this, or now our coach was saying something there, says, behind every bad thing, there is a good intention. See, behind every bad deed, there is a good intention. And so one man in the class was asking that, what is good about a thief stealing somebody's thing? The thief, the thief was stealing somebody's thing because the thief needed something. The thief wanted a car, for instance, so he came and stole your car. Is it bad to want a car? That way I said, is it a bad thing to want a car? He said that what was bad there was the method. You want a car. There are other methods to get a car without you stealing. So he said that it was a good intention, but the method was wrong.
Bad.
You go and steal food because you are hungry, you stole food. Is it bad to eat, to be hungry and want to eat? But now, the method you're trying to do that, it's all wrong. Did I answer you? Did that answer make sense?
Yes, ma.
Okay. Good. Any other contribution, observation, or question?
Let me ask a question, Mommy.
Yes, so
Let me ask a triggering question. On the
yes,
point on reaching out, many people are actually in situations because they fail to, the problem why people fail to reach out.
say it again. Your network was a bit breaking.
Many people are dying in their situation because they fail to reach out.
Oh, yes.
So, what could really be the issue? What could be the problem, or what is stopping them from reaching out? What could really be a kind of, let's get a brainstorming effect, because it's a point that I've noticed many people are
Yeah.
that, especially clergies, especially people, yeah, they are dying.
They are
You
dying
know,
in silence.
they are dying.
Yes.
Bleeding leaders, bleeding leaders,
Leading leaders,
dying
bleeding and
in their
leading,
situation.
bleeding and
Yes,
leading.
bleeding and leading.
And
Yes.
that's what we're
What
trying
could
to
be the,
treat with these 4 arrows. To stop, leaders should stop bleeding before they go leading. They should stop bleeding before they lead. Because the truth is, it ends up entering the lives of the people that are leading. It affects them now.
yeah,
It flows from the head to the body. So whether you manifest or you don't manifest, the bitterness is in you. It's just going to get into the people's lives. You just discover that the listing is making you bitter because somebody above you is a bitter person.
yes.
In short.
So
So
I'm thinking of cases where I've observed and
well, that network again.
seen that You mentioned about their leaders, so they easily cover up. Yes, I'm saying their leaders, so they cover up situations.
Exactly. Do you know that
They
Mafia
easily,
mentioned something?
yes,
Mafia mentioned it. Is also that one on the other hand to judgment. They fear how
yes,
you judge them. That hey, that this one has zero. Especially men. Especially men. Men die in silence.
yes,
A man will not tell you.
yes.
All talking. They better tell their friend. If you like, go and say, tell the whole world. But they must talk.
Mm-hmm. And
Yes,
then,
Papa D.
then you mentioned something. When they feel that a situation is a stigma, it's like a stigma. It has been like a stigma
Mm-hmm.
in a society,
Mm-hmm.
a stigma in a sense like, take for example, the woman with the issue of blood. Her case was like a stigma.
Yeah.
So once people already you use there's a language that you use like it's like an abomination
Mm-hmm.
just to mention it. So they find they are dying in their situation because they don't want to reach out because to them it's like a stigma even to mention the
Exactly.
thing. And
Exactly.
then yes, and then lastly, one of the things that I observe is pride. When people have entitlement issue, entitlement mentality, they want to carry who what they are, not who they are on their head.
Mm.
They carry it on their head, and then uh, because of that pride, they don't want to humble to reach out to somebody because, especially, say for example, in churches, just the fact that you are a pastor or a prophet, a general overseer or bishop does not mean that you don't have people who should even be the ones to help you. But because of pride, you don't want to come down. So they end up dying in their situation because they don't want to
Mm-hmm.
reach out for help. Yeah.
Exactly.
So to me, it's a kind of observation because
It is
that
true.
cause it, yes.
It is true. You find a lot of people, once you become a leader, that's why it's good to study, to learn. Because like these counselors here, you will not find all these people sitting under our voices now. You will not find yourself in that kind of place again. It's ignorance that is killing them.
Mm.
There was a pastor's wife that ran to me one day and was trying to. So while I was trying to hear what she was saying, she just turned and just, I was just looking at her. Before long, I heard that she had left the marriage. And the day she came would have been an opportunity for her to tell me exactly what is going on. Let me guide her on how to do. She was telling me. She was just, they don't open up. And it's not by force. Because whoever you're counseling must be willing. You don't cancel people by force. They must be willing. They have to open up. Because if they don't open up, you're not going to enter into their hearts to pull out the problem from there. They must tell you what they are going through for you to guide them. So some will sit on it and be turning around and doing those things like that when they are suffering, when they are in pain, and then they are feeling bad because they are leaders. You come and sit in front of the church the next day, they say you are not more there because you cannot say it. You cannot reach out. You can't talk to anybody that can help you. How can you live like that?
Hey, mommy,
Thank you, G. Thank you, G, for that contribution.
I have a
Yes.
small contribution. Yes, this
So to me, the lesson is so uh, great. So but the lesson is so wonderful. And I'm thinking about a lot of suicidal tendencies, suicidal issues, suicidal actions that people have taken it's all tied to the fact of they don't want to reach out. They are full of pride. They are covering up. They feel a stigma. They so is this teaching is so wonderful for us counselors here, and so really make good use of it. Thank you so much for this. Always listening
They line again.
to come and pour in yourself. Yes, yes.
Thank you, Pastor D. Thank you for opening that up. From there, I want to give us an assignment. I want each and every one of us to give me 5 reasons why some people do not reach out. If you listen to Papa D, why some people don't, why do people give 5 different reasons? You just give your own. We are supposed to be having of us here 7. Give your reasons. 5. Each of you, 5 different reasons why people do not reach out. Let me limit it to 5 so that we can at least be able to fetch them. So that will be an assignment that you write it down and then look at it or meet again. It's very key. It's very important, vital to this course that we are doing. So Annie was about to say something. Annie wanted to give a contribution or something.
Yes, mommy, that's already my answer for the assignment. I will not give again.
All right, so go and write your assignment. 5 reasons why people do not want to reach out. People do not seek intervention. People die in silence. Why? So do that, and we'll talk about it next week. Write it out, and then meanwhile, prepare your dissertations because we are going to start after next week. After next week, we're going to start scheduling people, 2 people per evening.